Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was quite a while ago now that the Renegades firstly set sail from Australian shores to make their fortune over in the States and compete at the top level of global Counter-Strike. But today and this week, they return home to try and show what they have learned. Of course, they've changed as well, and their opponents will be none other than the Juggernauts FaZe clan. And to bring us into this match, of course, I'm here with YNK and with Sniper. Now, firstly, let's start off with FaZe.
Renegades were an Australian team, Mitch, but the Serbians are taking over one step at a time. One step at a time, one Serbian at a time. It's going to become a full Serbian team at some point.
I tell you what, I sort of look in his eye and I couldn't tell what he wanted me to talk about. Like, I had to pick one of the two. I picked FaZe.
No, but FaZe obviously probably the second best team in the world right now,
sure,
behind Astralis, and that rivalry is the hottest one we have at the moment. Every time those two teams meet, it's been 2 times in grand finals of a LAN tournament. It's super exciting with the addition of Kerrigan. In the autumn of last year, FaZe, who was always a star-studded lineup but couldn't make it even into the playoffs of a LAN tournament, had a string of great results. And then Nico being the last piece of the puzzle, they really blew up as a team and have had a lot of success recently.
No, it's even been said as well that since being on this particular roster, Nico's rating in general has actually declined a little bit. But I feel like you have to look at this in context of him now no longer kicking a team, dragging a team, kicking and screaming through their matches in. Would you say that's the case, that it's still the same Nico?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just more of a fact that, you know, you've got players like Kiyoshima and Alu just lifting the bar as well, and that's really what's getting them across the line lately.
Right. Well, of course, here's some scenes as well from Katowice, and this was very impressive, of course, the way that went down. With
also in Mousesports, he was more or less, okay, with Chris J, they were the two main playmakers of the team, right? And it was always up to him to create an opening. Here, when you have the likes of Alu, he might get an entry kill in around Rain, he might find an opening somewhere else. It's not up to Nico to just be the guy who's always going to open things up for FaZe. There's a structure there that's in place, and he needs to do his part, and it's been like it so far.
So let's talk about that. When we know what his role was on Mousesports, that was very easy to see, but maybe a little bit harder to see what Nico's role is on FaZe in terms of how he fits into this puzzle that you described.
I think it hasn't really changed that much in terms of his positions and his duties, so to speak, but just how much he is meant to do from those positions and those roles is lower with FaZe than it was needed for him to be done, than he needed to do himself in Mousesports, right? Because he has better teammates now, they have a better structure. He also isn't a good in-game leader. He cannot be an in-game leader yet. I feel like I think it's too much for him in Mousesports. Under Kerrigan, it's way easier.
So now, Yanko, we can talk about Renegades. I threw you under the bus there before as well, but this is a new look team coming into this event from what we've seen in the Pro League and NA.
Oh, okay. Renegades have been really struggling to find a stable roster ever since they kicked Ricky out of the team. Then Yam decided to step down, and they were kind of searching for who can fill in those gaps left. And they brought in Nifty. You can see him; he's the closest player on the screen. He's the primary opera of the team now. And they brought in Nexa, the young up-and-coming player from Serbia. So with Kassad there as a coach, they finally have a stable roster. They had a good run in Pro League as well. So it seems like things are looking up for Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, since Nifty joining, that's a huge addition. That's something that Renegades haven't really had with Yam. I think Nifty's going to do a lot better job.
What is it that he brings?
Well, it's just his AWP is just so consistent, and he can shut down entire teams from his position. He doesn't need to. He's also pretty fancy as well. Like, he can hit those huge flick shots. But more importantly, it's more about that consistency of being able to stay alive and get around and help out the team more than maybe just go for some sort of hero plays here and there, which is what Ricky was for. He would do some hero plays with the AWP, especially on the T side, and then Yam onto the CT side, you'd see him sometimes just pushing Palace or something like that to get 1 or 2 kills, and it's not really necessary when you've got a guy like Nifty who can just do it from the middle of the map and then move around and have more impact.
So here's our veto come in, gentlemen. Mirage being the map chosen here as well. I mean, we probably would rather apply our thinking process here. Well, let's look at it in 2 parts here. If FaZe on Mirage here, to see this come out of the map, Vito Yanko, does that really surprise you?
Not really. Maybe I'm slightly surprised by the fact that they decide to veto Train and to play Mirage, because they've been very, very strong on Train. But it's also a map that Renegades like to play, so maybe they're feeling Mirage is a weaker map for Renegades, so we can play both maps. Why not go for that? But it's a very interesting dynamic actually here, because Nico and Kassad were ex-teammates. We all played in the same team, so they know each other very well, and now they're up against each other.
There's a lot of work here in this match, isn't there? I mean, now Renegades as well. They've had a much improved season in the Pro League. As we were talking about that before, Ian, as well. You say some people even underrate them a little bit, but their Mirage coming through here. Is that a cause for concern for Australian and Serbian fans alike?
Yeah, I don't think the Renegades team has got a particularly strong Mirage anymore. I know once it was one of their staple maps a long time ago with previous iterations of the lineup, but you know, I'd look to them to have more of a Cobble or something like that to have a huge impact. But I don't think FaZe need to be too worried about Mirage. But it will be definitely tough for the FaZe team to look at this match and do any prep on it, because I think they've only played one map with Nexa on Mirage, and I think they got pretty trounced. So, yeah, it's going to be FaZe just playing their normal game, and Renegades have got all the work to do here.
Glad to bring up Nexa. I mean, Janko, like we mentioned earlier at the start of the show, you guys maybe never played together in a team, but it's not a huge scene in Serbia, and you definitely heard a little bit about him. I mean, how do we see him coming into this lineup, and even especially as an in-game leader, no less?
Yeah, I'm not really sure about the in-game leader part of the deal. I'm also guessing that none of the three Australian players wanted to do it, because that would be like the natural transition to an extent, right? Because they will play at that level of competition as well. But I guess Nexa, because of Kassad as well, because they can talk in Serbian and he can like give him tips and kind of groom him into the role when they have to play the official game. But definitely an up-and-coming player, one of the few ones after Nico that actually has the potential to compete internationally from the region.
Well, stage is set once again. It's going to be Renegades taking on FaZe Clan. Two teams with slightly different looks here, but of course, this will be our last game of the first round of the round robin. We'll have our 1s and 0s and our 0s and 1s, and no, I'm not talking binary. That's just how this is all going to work. Let's head over to the start of the game, though. Once again, it is going to be Henry G and Staticist to take us into our fourth game of the day.
And it's interesting, Mitch, because I do indeed work in binary. I am either on or off. And right now, Henry, I am off.
I'm turned on, so I'm ready to go. FaZe Clan versus Renegades. Another mismatch on paper, I guess you could say. FaZe looking incredibly sharp right now. Renegades, a bit of an unknown quantity since the lineup changes coming in, but the guys on the decks, they seem at least slightly optimistic as to terms of what they can bring to the table here. Bit more firepower to what I was suggesting when Jan was in the team and Ricky, for example. So I'm interested to see what they bring. I haven't managed to catch any of the games in the Pro League so far, but I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see what the young Serbs can do here.
Yeah, obviously they've got the praises of Janko on the desk. Jocko, I think, as he's known in these parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, he's played with some of these guys. He knows a little more about them than we do coming into this. I've been excited from speaking to him and finally getting to see these guys play. But I'm also excited in general just to see what kind of shape Renegades is in, because we know it's been a downhill spiral for them in some ways, and now it's a bit of a rebuild. And what better test than go against FaZe, who's a bit of a wild card, a bit of a loose cannon of a team. Definitely becoming more of that, the word team, with good structure now, but there's still, very individually skilled in a lot of ways.
Yeah, fresh off a victory over in Stadlader as well, after managing to get the grand finals of Katowice and losing to the best of 5 of Astralis and then beating them in the best of 3 over the aforementioned event as well. So that's actually very beneficial for them. Looking like a fantastic unit so far. Definitely chomping at the bit to get to that #1 spot and take down Astralis, maybe at the next major. Who knows? As we get into it, though, it's going to be Renegades starting at the T side. We'll have a look at their buy. I can't really tell you too much about them. The guys on the desk explain their different roles and the fact that Nifty is the in-game leader as well now, something they were really lacking since Chad's departure. But we'll see whether they can get into this. Azza, he's got the Tech 9, the Superman buy, and 1 smoke to work of. This is not really orthodox on the T side of Mirage. Normally have 2 smokes at least. And we'll see what they bring to the table here. 3 towards the B apartments, 2 in Palace as well. So maybe a bit of a fake coming into a B final commitment. 5 sets of armor for FaZe. And Karrigan, of course, he's patrolling towards the B apartments. And Kiyashima watching short.
Watching short.
It's all very quiet for now.
I don't mind it, peace and quiet every now and then, Henry. Maybe we'll let it subside.
JKS and Nifty, they'll be trying to show presence towards the A side of the map. Maybe a little double fake coming in. See, Nexa's not fully committed to the B side with the bomb. He's just holding near the top middle, seeing whether the CT's get aggressive at all here. Nothing really coming in as of yet. Nifty and JKS fall back. So the smoke's still in the hands of Nexa. That could be used towards B window or maybe towards B short as well, even on the site. And we'll see what that happens as Nico It's towards top middle right now. A lot of information granted for him. 50-second mark. You feel like the commitments will be coming in the next 20 seconds or so. Nexus still towards the B side. Nifty and JKS joining them. So B side are very likely at this point. Still could go underpass, of course, but Carrigan, he's pushing up slowly but surely towards this position as a first contact.
Oh, he thought it. He thought he was right in looking that way, Kerrigan, and he looked away slightly too soon as it gets the kill on the Tech 9. Kio's already spotted it, but has to be very careful, has to be efficient. Good kill. Nico gets one over his shoulder, and Nico from the window will find a second, which leaves them a man up. If you're doing the math, if you're playing along at home, Rain will close it. 1-0 for FaZe, a very convincing pistol in the end, despite some early exchanges, and especially the opening kill going to Renegades.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the final tactic Renegades were going to present to us there. You can see it was building up. Carrigan pushes the B apartments. They get that kill. That's just the cue for them. Okay, we've got the advantage here. Let's get in there as fast as we possibly can. The smoke not even used. Nico rotating in nicely. One of the best players in the entire planet right now. Great shots for him from the window. Looked very calm indeed. Pretty much shuts down around. Ali finds one as well. And a stop comes in. We've had this at the beginning of each of these games so far. I'm sure it's just a small technical issue to do with the headset. It's called by FaZe Clan this time. So microphone problem as usual. Yeah, that seems to be the common trend at the moment. And
And I'm curious to know if it's does everyone on FaZe, whether it's Sennheiser like Alu does, I think they have their own choice. I'm curious. Yeah, they do, because I think I see some HyperX
they're
in that
sponsored by Turtle Beach, I think. Like something like that. That would make sense with the COD teams.
Yeah, but I see.
So they might use the USB sound card, you know.
That's that's where I was going with. I think it's all USB issues. You say that. You say that they might be, but I don't think the Sennheiser comes in USB, does it?
Well, I mean, like you get the USB headset.
You could still run the extension that goes into
the Turtle Beach block, and then you plug into it.
Yep, that's right.
Because they're normally console headphones. I don't think many CS players use a PC, but the sound card's pretty good from what I've heard. So maybe they're using that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think HyperX is what Kerrigan's using, which has an option for either.
Either way, it was 1-0 for FaZe. And if you're an Australian fan and wondering how Renegades really match up to a team like FaZe, it's not looking good on paper. They've certainly got some firepower in there. Like to JKS, we've seen him perform very well at big tournaments before. He's getting more confidence as he becomes a more mature player. He was known for being the clutch master, even back in Cologne 2015, I think was my first major, and he was there, and he impressed me a lot. He was actually lights out at that event. It wasn't that long ago, really, but you think about it in Counter-Strike years, that feels like a lifetime.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
The amount of matches that are played by any given team. Like, I was thinking about this. Like, I used to think, like, the NHL season, 82 games. That's so long. And then I'm like, you know what, though? CS teams play like 82 games a month. That's a lie, but pretty close sometimes. Yeah. Like 4 or 5 maps a night sometimes. That's ridiculous. So smoke out toward A main. Nico's going to be the one to deploy it. You still out JKS and Azza backing off on it. But we are still waiting, Henry. I like to get excited. The interesting aspect of all this is that we've had to do a restart on this one. Typically, okay, he's back in now. Kerrigan's back in. Typically, we're pretty quick on these, and it seems to be solved without leaving the server. But this time, I think a restart was needed.
Well, hopefully, it won't be too long. Renegades should be on a force by going to the second round. The bomb was not planted. It was actually a clean sweep by FaZe. So that's a little bit disappointing for Renegades. They get that bomb down. They get the choice of the AKs in the third, or some teams opting for that force buy in the second. I think this should just be a force buy, all things considered. I can see the E-bot doing its magic right now, and an RIP comes in from Alu. Maybe there's a bit of an issue.
Well, they called continue, and it didn't. So I think E-bot actually may have failed right now.
It's restored.
There it is. Restoring match backup. Yep, so it worked. It just apparently did it wrong originally.
Carrigan says, this doesn't look good.
Match stopped by admin, yeah. So I'd say the E-bot actually failed to upload, because you call stop and then continue. They called continue and it failed to load into the next round.
E-bot's been a little bit fussy recently.
He's always fussy.
Like over in the summer they had
I heard he wanted a raise and didn't get it, so he's probably just protesting.
Well, we'll see whether he can sort his life out and get into it. Restart the map.
What do they have for Summit? I didn't get to catch all of it.
Actually, I don't think it was a Summit. It was Austin. They were having issues with E-bot.
I didn't catch any of Austin because of our travel, obviously.
Yeah, I was following it on like social media. I saw people tweeting about E-bot and stuff.
Yeah.
So Alu doesn't look too impressed. Wants to get into it. Obviously, the AWPer of FaZe Clan. Very good player, in my opinion. I actually like his AWP style a lot. And he's one of the...
I like his hair today.
Yeah, a bit more that mop look.
I think he was at the beach with us yesterday.
Yeah.
He probably just didn't, fully rinse all of the salt out of his hair, so it still looks really dry and windswept.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be.
Well, I shouldn't say he was with us, but they were there as well.
They were there. They were walking past us every now and then. We said we'd hang
They
out
said
at the
they
beach.
went swimming.
Did they?
Yeah, I talked
didn't
to
see
them. Because Kerrigan this morning said the water was actually very nice.
It was nice in there. I liked it.
You rented a bodyboard.
I did, optimistically. The waves weren't great.
I don't know if it was the waves. I saw some people surfing.
It cost me $20. Well, the thing is, I wasn't allowed in the surfing area. The lifeguard was shouting at me when I went in there.
That's true. I did notice that. They drove over on a quad bike just to yell at you.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay,
right.
I'm a surfer as well, dude. Let me get involved. And he's like, I think he could just tell how my ineptitude to actually be a surfer whatsoever. You could see in my technique, it wasn't up to scratch. He's like, you should just go over here, sir. I was like, thanks very much. I'll go in the area of no waves whatsoever.
Everyone's looking at you on the beach. You're that guy.
And I caught 2 waves, and it cost me $20 for the board. So I got 2 waves, $10 a wave. Not bad.
It's not bad.
But it was still a fun day.
Money well spent.
Money
it was
well
a good
spent.
day.
But we're back into it. It's going to be the Force Buy from Raw. They're called now. They've changed their team name.
Raw.
It's going to be Renegade. That's just an e-bot thing. It'll be fixed by next round, I'm sure. So Deagle is Tech 9s and 1 Smoke for Nexa, one of the new Serbian picks up, along with Nifty as well. There it is. It's back. And not really much I can do with this. Nifty goes down to 35 HP to the hands of the UMP either from Kyo. Aloe didn't quite catch that. And I assume it was Kiyoshima. You still are towards the underpass right now. And a nice Deagle shot from JKS. The Deagle are so deadly on this map, especially towards middle. And it looks like they can try and capitalize towards connected position. And Kyo does do a little bit more damage there.
Kyo spots them going in toward the window as well, but rather than climb the ladder and cut them off, he lets Nico do the job. And he's up to it because he finds the quick kill. Now another on Azza. He's got 2 in the round. Of the 3 that are found, Rain has the other. And we could have a 2-0 scoreline, although JKS has something to say about that, doesn't he? Nifty goes down. But unfortunately, even though JKS has 2, it would be an ace required, and he gets caught just desperately trying to plant the bomb, which isn't a bad idea, all things considered. But unfortunately for him, doesn't manage to do so. And it's FaZe up 2-0 with no money. We've got another pause called.
Microphones again.
Mike.
Right.
Nico says,
that's it.
damn.
After this game.
Okay, so everyone has said the same thing. Kerrigan just said, put it in USB 2.
It's ESL have got their own little USB sound card thing.
They're built into the table.
I remember when we did the show matches, I remember that thing is that they've got their, it's not the players bringing it, it's like ESL have their own solution. They have the USB ports in the desk and the sound card there as well, so you can just sit down, plug everything in, and it gets to go. So that's what I think is just a small
Yeah, because that's what this morning's game, that's what Magisk said when they were playing against Optic. He told Naf, I think it was, or was it Tarek? He said, use the other USB. And we have those in the desks that we play in the studio in Cologne as well. They're basically, you can't quite see them there. The monitors block it. But yeah, there's basically a USB hub that they run that just makes it, as you said, easier to plug everything when you sit down at a computer for your time to play.
Well then, this will be the full EK for Renegades. Hopefully this issue is sorted momentarily.
Hard to build a rhythm when you're stopping every round. I'm sure they're as frustrated as anyone about this. They want to get rolling, especially being the underdog in this. They want to try and get a rhythm and get a routine. FaZe will be sitting comfortably knowing the situation.
Just a note as well, JKS, as Chad pointed out in the earlier segments, he used to sit on the very end of the team, but now, as he's maturing as a young man, he's moved up to the 2nd position. He's getting more confidence and wants to be part of the team. And
coming of age.
Yeah, he wants to have a bit more of a voice instead of just being told what to do. Here's some facts for you. Kiyoshima won IEM Gamescom with MVS in 2015, and it's been essential in FaZe's success. Hashtag the problem. Hashtag no, he's not.
Hashtag yes, he is.
Well, I don't think he's the problem anymore. He's actually a very good player these days. He's in amazing form, and he's been instrumental, I'd say. It was obviously between him and Jacob, who stays in the team when Kerrigan first joined. I think they made the right decision here. Kiyoshima's been lights out for them at the last couple of events, like almost MVP levels, especially in that Star Ladder performance as well. Nexa leaves the server, so he'll be trying to sort his heads out as well. Rain looking happy. Has he got his own Rain cap now? Has he got his own line of...
Everyone's doing that, aren't they? Simple had one at Star Ladder.
Yeah.
Rain's got his. Kerrigan had his own clothing brand for a while. I'm going to do one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Will you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to give you one, but thank you very much for the money.
No, I'll support.
Nice. I do need the money.
Well, there's Nexa, I believe. It was Nifty who's on the far side. It's obviously... It's kind of cool to know as well. They'll be good friends with Nico. If anyone is unaware, like the Serbian and Bosnian regions, very close to each other, speak the same language, and that's why Yanko and Nico are such good friends. I'm sure they'll be very good chums with Nico as well.
Nico and Yanko used to play together.
Exactly, yeah.
On iNation,
exactly.
Was it?
Yeah, very
yeah,
early stages
so.
of it, I think, yeah.
The early iNation roster, I think. But yeah, those were the days. The good old days.
So now we've got some problems for...
I was thinking about this the other day. Mouse Sports have kind of come into their own in a very odd and unexpected way now, especially with Rops being picked up. I think he looks
Rops is sick,
he looks
isn't
wicked. I'm excited.
He must be part of Sadaka
That's who I
Samurais.
said was better than Hobbit. That's exactly who I said it was. Yeah, no, he's on Sadaka Samurais. We got Amon, Hobbit, and Rops.
Yeah, it's a good little team.
It's going to be good.
You need an AWP there, though.
You know what? I'm just thinking I don't. I think I'm going to break the meta.
Okay.
But here's the thing. You look at Mouse Sports, and they've come into their own in a very odd way that no one kind of expected now. You've got Oscar going back there for a second stint, similar to how Nico, by the way, had 2 stints because originally there was a language barrier.
That's right.
And he
Still
came back
contracted
in
and benched.
Yep, that's right. So imagine that, right? One of the best players in the world was benched for a period of time. It was very clear he was good at the time as well. It's just it was like I say, a language barrier, and Godby was still on that team. But if you look at all the players that have gone through the Mouse Sports organization, you could build a super team off it. You had Alu in there at one point in time. You had Nico in there at one point in time. Geez, who else have you had through there? There's been a bunch. I mean, Oscar there now looks pretty good. Ropes looks good, but there's been so many players through that organization that have ended up elsewhere.
Well, for now,
Kerrigan was in there at one point in time too.
yeah, and obviously you got some big names. Like I like that team. Like Lowell that comes to mind as well.
Lowell does all right now, yeah. I think he's
Rain.
starting
Not a big fan of the logo. It's a bit simple. So I could get like MS Word.
Yeah,
font.
why wouldn't there be like a raindrop or something clever?
Some sort of like not just Rain and the nice default font you can find in the hat. It's just kind of like that.
I guess it's good
Cafe
for
press
viewership.
site,
It's good for viewership. Maybe it's just a one-off, and he just wears it so everyone can see it. I am Rain.
I'm the Rain guy.
I'm the guy that everyone's talking about. But I think yeah, some sort of raindrop or something. If you're out there and you're an illustrator, make a sick logo and send it to Rain on Twitter. He'll wonder why you're doing it. Don't tell him I told you to do so, but just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
ETA. What is ETA?
Estimated time of arrival.
I'm just quoting.
Oh,
Keisha.
I do see it now. Yeah, you're right.
As a not sure, still troubles. And okay, Matt, this is the chance for us to kind of
Talk about
reflect.
all of the things in life.
Well, like you said, we both didn't watch the recent tournaments, so we can't really go too much into that. We can talk about Michael. You've been talking about that this morning.
Yeah, Dignitas, the second team that he's formed, having not been able to find a roster elsewhere, and the second team that is FaZe, obviously being the first, by the way. Very different team now than when he was around, but this being the second team that's removed him.
Has it been officially announced that's happening?
I think it has. It was all over the Reddit, and I've heard on good authority that is indeed the case. He and Pitta have been removed.
Well, actually, they play against NIP and ECS, I believe, as well. And they split the series, but they beat them on the first one, 16-2. It's more of a Norwegian based lineup now as well, and it actually looked quite promising. Obviously, NIP in disarray right now, but still, that's a promising result to kick things off.
Well, and the other one you get brought back into this, there's still one player that kind of missed out by jumping off the Danish scene too early, just before the rise of all the Danish teams. Asilian, obviously, but they picked up Tensky, which looks to be pretty decent on the Dignitas squad right now. I think that they're another team that I don't think I expect as much as what we've seen from FaZe in that growth, but I expect them to kind of mix it with the Tier 2 lads.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. And there was one of... Oh, we're back into it. I was about to just do one of the news as well. The Fetish returning to coaching. But anyway, let's get into it. It's going to be at the full eco for Renegades. One flashbang that normally just means throw it over the A side wall, try and run in and get a trade. But Nico...
Is he coaching Heroic?
I think it was something like that. I didn't want to say just yet.
I think it's Heroic that he said he was coaching.
Something like that. Like me and him we go way back. He's a good friend of mine, so that's cool to see him back in the scene. I will just double check, make sure it's Heroic. Anyway, you go.
Nico flashed off, has to turns back, but can't get the kill. Rain will get 2 instead.
It is Heroic.
And Azza will sit away with a kill. That's come the other direction. But Rain has stood back up. He's done very well in this particular round, looking for his 4th kill. Falls to Stillo, who's going to try and swing back and find Alu instead, doing damage where he can, but damage not available. They get 2 kills in it, and FaZe will go up 3-0. Now we'll get guns, and hopefully not another pause, to bring us into the situation where we can start to see what this Renegade squad is really made of. They're going to go for the AWP as well. Glass cannon on Nifty.
I'm interested to see what Nifty brings to the table. From what I heard on the desk, he's a very flashy AWPer, lots of flex shots coming in, up against Alu, who subscribes to that sort of AWPing as well. We'll see whether he can go toe-to-toe with him. Glass cannon for sure on the T side here. And Azza going towards the B apartment. It's not underpass just yet. And the first shot comes in, and it's Alu who takes the first AWP shot and takes down Nifty. So that AWP completely subsided, and we're going into a 5-on-4, but Nexa fighting back.
And even worse, that AWP just got blown into the corner by a nade, so no one can pick it up and try and counter up with it. No one's touching that. It's being watched. Azza, ooh! Speaking of being watched, I was able to slip out undetected. Alu overstaying his welcome inside of the window, gets his head torn off for it. And they've actually established great mid-control, Renegades. They've got a very healthy lead in this particular round, as it's going to be Nico gone. 1 HP, he's still able to wall him down.
Yeah, I'm surprised they still went for picks out. Ali gets the first kill, 5 on 4 in this sort of round, just fall back. Just let them do the next work. And then as Kiyoshima is getting aggressive towards Connector, he went down, then Ali drops, and it all falls apart for FaZe Clan here. This is almost guaranteed round for Renegades at this point. Karrigan trying to do what he can, as he's doing his best to throw it as he faces towards jungle with Nexa to finish things off. It's 2 kills for him in total, so nice work by Renegades. Certainly got some firepower up their sleeve, and this is a difficult round in terms of the money for FaZe. I have no idea why Kiyoshima would go for the aggressive face after getting that first pick. That's just like an amazing start for a CT side. First gun round, you want to guarantee get that, really kind of solidify your lead going forward, and Kiyoshima gets his head blown off and maybe underestimating Renegade slightly here. So FaZe Clan, Deagle for Nico, not necessarily a bad thing, he's absolutely sick with that weapon, and a UMP for Rain. Ali still has his AWP, and oh, I thought he was going to pull the trigger there, you just could feel it coming. He does, but can't quite find the shot eventually, and it's Kiyoshima doing good work from short, and unfortunately for him goes down, and so does Nico. Rain fights back towards A round.
Alu gets in position toward the CT stairs. He's a little bit late to arrive to cover off anyone in connector, but he can sit back and hold the angle at the top stairs, which might work. He's still going that direction. Walks clean into it. And that gives the man advantage back to FaZe. But the bomb on a fast approach toward B. Az has already cleared around the corner of Cat. And Karrigan's still in the window as we see it. Dropping down to be on the flank, but it's surely going to give up the plant. Just now are they rotating back through CT as well. They're very hesitant, Renegades. Though the longer they hesitate, the sooner Karrigan will arrive on the back door. And Nifty is going to be a sitting duck. Surely Karrigan's already at the corner. Starts to consider it now. Clear off the bench. And now as he plants the bomb, thankfully, gets inside the site to plant the bomb before Karrigan sees him. He's still going to be exposed. Bomb not planted. Nifty tries to turn Karrigan. There, denies the round. And takes them both down.
Very well done by Karrigan there to deny the plant as well. That's quite a harsh reset for the Renegades after having a successful round in the previous. We're clean two of the AK-47s. Can't do much in the next round. They're going to have to force buy into this round, it seems. Tech 9s and AK-47s. Alu back on the AWP. He'll be looking very comfortable indeed. Round number 6 comes in. FaZe Clan the heavy favourites, and then some going into this one. Renegades with a lot to prove. It is a Swiss format. It's quite forgiving. These sort of teams, you're going to have a tough game, kick things off, but then you can get into your stride as the tournament progresses. PG-50s, Tech 9s, and 1 rifle available. They've got 1 smoke as well. As a towards the B apartments, he still gets 1 kill, but Kiyoshima, who seems to be finding himself on this map so far, gets another kill, and the round should be over at this point. Karrigan ready at the bench, and Kiyoshima backing up very nicely indeed.
Toward the bench it is. Karrigan back to the wall, left side covered, can line them up. Takes the first kill, and Nifty.
He's got to go.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Well, JKS finds Nico. That's actually in the connector as well, and unfortunately his teammate drops at the same time. So JKS, AK-47 now, upgrades the weapon, and then some more. He's had all 3 now. The AWP, he's got armor as well. Not known to be an AWP, but let's see if we can find a frag or 2. Bomb down in the B apartments. That pretty much suggests he cannot do anything within this round, and Kiyoshima gets his 3rd. Good job by him. 5-1. I think this has to be Nico now for the Renegades. That was a force buy from them. It will indeed be Nico, about 2k per player. And this is starting to become a bit of a one-sided affair. FaZe 5-1 up, and another Rika coming in. So, MP9 for Alu. Not his forte, but
No.
we'll see whether he can. Against the unnumbered players, I guess there's a chance to farm some cash. He might go towards underpass or something like that. I'll have a look. He's actually towards the palace for the looks of things. Rona will be patrolling towards A ramp, and Nico in the window position.
Alu's not going to push into Palace, though. He's just playing close to the door. Horseshoe occupied. Renegades might need a horseshoe stuck up their butt for some luck in this game. That expression, that old one. That classic one.
Is that one of your dads?
Nah, he's not that clever.
No.
No, that actually is like the horseshoe stuck up the. They use a different word, but butt.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like it's not like an expression. It's just a. I don't know, Henry. What do I know?
Well, Alu knows he's farming a lot of money this round. Same story for Rain as well. There it is, 600 times 3. As we get into round number 8 now, it's going to be 6-1. FaZe Clan doing a very good job so far. Quite clinical counter-strike from them overall. It's going to be the Renegades though with a full buy. No AWP available for Nifty. He's actually on 0-0-7. James Bond has arrived, Matthew, and we'll see whether he can do anything going forward into round number 8 here. And Renegades, certainly underdogs here, yet to cause any real damage towards the FaZe clan. We'll see if there's any change of pace here for the CTs. Will they go aggressive at the start of the round? Ali will be holding his orb towards the top mid, and Yustilo, is he feeling brave? He's going to try and cross over towards the mid boxes.
First time Alu's been aggressive underneath this smoke from the bottom of middle. It's actually a decently wide smoke, so they've got some room to work with at the top of the corner. As it dissipates, though, he still stares down with the AWP, so mid control not established off of the original intent. The last time we saw FaZe put this much attention in toward middle, though, they overstayed their welcome, and Asa was able to get Alu back from the window. That was when Renegades picked up their only round. This time they'll fall off it sooner and go back inside of the A site.
You know, they have inflicted significant damage towards Nico for now, so that's something to work with. Nifty coming in with that mid control as well. Presence in underpass to go with it, but for now, bomb down towards T-spawn. Nothing really gathered by Renegades as of yet. In terms of grenades as well, you can see they've got 2 flashbangs remaining. Not that much control, and Nico looking to strike here. Spots the foot of one player. Should take him down, but Yustilo actually beats him to the punch.
No, as despite the early aggression from FaZe, they actually have established a presence from Connector, which means A can be split with a 2-2. Rain's going to try and gather information back toward Palace as a result of this. It gives them decent position after they walk in the site, but Alu gets Azure immediately, leaves him in it. Information gathered, and they go back for an additional peek. Fast shot on Nifty. And now they limit to toward A main. Another shot, another Nexa down. It's Rain covering off with a reverse play toward JKS. And Yustilo left in a 1 versus 4. He's found by Kerrigan off site. And FaZe will go up 7-1. So Renegades continue to struggle to get into this game.
So that was decent fundamentals coming from Renegades there. They're actually getting the map control towards middle, but just didn't have enough to actually finally execute towards the A bomb site. And that's a problem. You're up against a player like Ali with the AWP in his hands. It's like a shooting gallery from that point. No smokes towards him, no flashbangs, hitting every single shot. It looks very comfortable for him. And another tactical pause coming from Renegades, a chance to kind of recalculate themselves and work out how they enter the next round. They're a 4th state loss bonus, so $2,100 coming into their bank accounts. 7-1. I think they have to take another full eco this one. You've got about $3,000 per player, and we'll see whether they have any chance. It's just going to be a partial buy here. You can't really justify a force into this one. So Nifty, one of the young serves that's come into this lineup so far, yet to frag, and we've been told he's one of the flashier AWPers, and to go toe-to-toe with Alu, he needs to start stepping up his game so far. He's only had he's had the AWP once, and not really had any kills apart from that.
Yeah, but and that's something to talk about, especially when you're on a team that's developing and oftentimes the underdog in games. You've got to have more in your arsenal than just the AWP, because it's not guaranteed your economy is going to favor it. So we need to see him step up whether or not he has the weapon. Alu again toward middle. Late smoke out to cover off Cat. Tries to fire in. Next is able to cross. And it seems to be the standard default again with Aza going off toward the lower mid positions. As actually, he gets close with the Tech 9. It's still going to be FaZe relinquishing and giving up that mid position.
Well, in terms of grenades, they've all been expended at this stage. Boosting up towards the window, that's Asa. Some map control at least, but CTs will be well aware of this, and Nico, so strong in this connected position, can hear them all around him, trying to find that first frag. They're taking all the damage here. Nifty down to 30 HP. He's only got the PT50 as well. Yustilo trying to challenge Nico, but it's going to be Kiyoshima that opens things up first. 5-4, and he's looking for a bit more as well.
Good play from Nico. Reads the fact that window is gathered. And Alu continues to look sharp. This time from triple. Has Nico to cover off the push in from Connector so we can focus firmly on A main. Goes to the pistol instead, but that range doesn't matter. They go up 8-1 and continue to control the pace. Money's massive for FaZe.
Yeah.
Not so much for Renegades. They'll buy back in. I think they're at a full 5 rounds. It's just maxed out again.
It is, so that's going to be $3,400 coming out. And Nifty, like we said, struggling so far. Probably one of his biggest land debuts, I would say. Not really been on our radar so far. Obviously, the Serbian community will be aware of him, but now it's a double AWP setup he's up against with his single AWP setup on the T side. It's Kerrigan. This used to be his old stomping ground of Astralis. He used to be so good on this map with the AWP. Is this going to make FaZe stronger going forward here? And Alu and Kerrigan trying to find that first pick. Nico's actually got the first one, and Rain chimes in towards the Palace area.
Yeah, that was fast from Rain. Good reactions knowing Palace was open. He goes back over. They have slipped in undetected. They can still control the peak. Forces Nifty off with a flash, but overcommits to the peak on JKS, and this will give Renegades their best chance in. Now we're seeing Nifty get some movement. It took him a while to get rolling with the T side at AWP. He went glass cannon early, but now he gets it up. 2 kills, in fact, as Kiyoshima rotates around. It's on to Kerrigan. A 1 versus 3, and Renegades looking for their second round. Relying on the youngsters to do so. Kerrigan, though, gets Yustilo. Bomb not yet planted. He'll have a 1 versus 2 immediately in the post plant. No kit on his belt, but there is one down in the site, and he has a smoke to put on the bomb. Starts it off as well with a Molotov immediately to Firebox. Kerrigan gets the information that Nifty's in toward Palace. He'll smoke him off immediately as he tries to negate the threats from different angles, but it's JKS to win it out. And they do get the second round finally indeed.
Well, there it is, finally arriving. It's Nifty, and he manages to bring 2 frags to the proceedings as well. So the round he arrives on manages to actually have some massive impact there, and it's going to be the second round for Renegades. Comes down to the 2v1 though. Lots of money still on the FaZe bank account, so they can get a full buy here. Don't go back to double AWP setup. It was working so well with a singular AWP, so why not? Let's just stick to what was working. And now Renegades, they need to convert this to a few rounds in a row here. This will be another harsh reset if they don't pick this round up. Need to be very careful of going forward. The scoreline's 8-2. Same smoke towards middle, trying to take that vision away from Ali, who currently will be in that window position. Actually getting a bit more aggro this time out. I like this a lot, pushing up towards mid. Looks at that first kill, fires up a shot, can't get it. Ustillo punishes him for it.
So getting rolling now. Renegades, we've seen a couple 10-5 halves. One of them was pulled back, but unfortunately not closed out, but pulled back to overtime. If you're just joining us, that was our first game of the entire tournament. See if Renegades can do better than that. Still a chance to go 8-7. Tall order. 9-6, 10-5, definitely in the cards. JKS considers that someone may have gone through A main and gotten in behind them at Palace. Just a quick check. And then he'll continue to wait for his team's call. They're bringing the bomb back over through T-spawn, including a rotation from Horseshoe of Nifty as well on the AWP. So he's not going to try and open up mid, get toward connector. He's going to try and go straight back in toward A main. But look at Rain getting more aggressive.
Has to at this point. They've lost 2 picks. He needs to step up, and he could find the double kill. Bomb goes down. Knows Nifty's got the shot on him as well. He decides to pull back. That's the correct play, but this flashbang, that's interesting. Doesn't strike on it, but Kiyashima helps him out. Brings it into a 3-on-3.
He doesn't strike is exactly this. His team's called that they're taking over connector as well. Don't need to call much, though, when Kerrigan stands like that. Finds 2 on the M4. Nifty last alive. Gets a shot on Rain. So he's starting to add kill total, but unfortunately not rounds, as they'll get shut down yet again. He's got 3, all of them, although the last one not so much, but the 2 previous, I suppose, were very substantial.
Yeah, but that's the harsh reset we were discussing. They had to win that round. It's a 5-on-3 map. And yes, it's a very reactive map. FaZe playing it perfectly. After losing the first 2 picks, Rain knows he has to step up there. Pushes the A ramp, finds one player with his knife out, takes him down. This intelligent stuff as well. He could have gone for more, but knows that's the AWP. He's going to be holding that angle, probably going to take him down. Kiyashima charms him connected as well, and then Rain finishes things off. It's up to Nifty. And couldn't find the final play to win the round. So it's going to have to be another eco here. So gutting for Renegades at this point. They need to be finding at least 5 rounds in this half to have a chance in the second. That's looking unlikely going forward. But we'll see what they can do with these Deagles. They have got a few very talented players. Good flashbang though. Nexus is hiding in the corner. Kerrigan finds him though. And it's going to be a 5-on-4 once again in favour of the international squad. FaZe Clan, the only international squad really having any sort of impact in CSGO right now.
Well, you could argue Mouse Sports is international to some extent.
I guess so. I guess you call them international because there's not a single player from the same nation.
You do Hellraisers?
They've got 2 Slovakians, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I see what you mean. You're saying it has to be all 5 different.
Yeah. That's what I class as
Even
a full
Dignitas,
international team.
Then, yeah.
So that's like one of the first projects that's been successful. This is obviously going back to Kingwin days. They first tried their twin Scream was in there.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Hitton?
Squeaton.
I could never pronounce that name. That was a nightmare.
He stepped in as well for Dignitas, and he was one of the 2.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. It all comes full circle. Force buy here. It's getting a bit desperate now for Renegades and Rain. He's looking aggressive. He's trying to push him back off towards middle. A Galil, a UMP, and lack of grenades as well. We'll see what they can do. No AWP for Nifty, and he goes down. Actually, Azza doing a good job with the Galil there towards the window room. He seems to be finding kills there consistently.
Yeah, that's not an easy angle to get kills from. He's very good at walking out from the underpass. Most players struggle with that, but he's very assertive, I have to say. And it's quite impressive, but they need more than just him to be able to do that to get rounds. Kerrigan to go back toward middle. They've segregated off the fact that Azza has gone over toward connector, but the rest have gone up catwalk. He'll try and control the window room and flank them out. He may do so as well. They're going to be sitting perfectly inside of Checker if he gets there in time. Question is, and oh yeah, he's going to be perfect. This will be a double flank. Look to Azza right now, walking in. He's got 2 in front of him. We can't see it. We're stuck on Ustillo, but he actually gets found. Found the first on Keo, but was taken out immediately after by Alu as Ustillo steps up to get Kerrigan. Alu will be in a 1 versus 3, and this could be Renegade's 3rd round finally.
Yeah, almost guaranteed at this point. Alu just trying to find some players to take down with him, just keep limiting the money of Renegades overall. But that B-side attack actually works out for them. Comes off the back of those 2 kills from Azza as well. Khalil, he gets 3 in total. That's actually very good by him. Like he said, that window position is not easy to find frags, especially with the lesser rifle there. Great job by him. Alu will save his AWP after finding 2 frags as well. His money will be fine going forward. I think that's the same story for everyone, really. A full buy for sure. That's why he was kind of experimenting with the idea of finding a few more kills and limiting them going forward. So Renegades lose this round, and it's almost certainly going to be 12-3. This is the round they need to win. They're aiming for 10-5 here, and we'll see whether they can do it. They managed to get 5 rifles once again. No AWP for Nifty. Double AWP setup once again for Alu and Carrigan. We'll get into round number 14 here. The closing stages of the first half. Renegades haven't really turned up yet, but a couple of impressive rounds, especially from the likes of Azza. And Nifty hasn't got many frags. He only got 3, but one of the big rounds they picked up was off the back of 2 of his kills. This is a set piece, nice and quick. Azza going out towards the apartment.
Ooh, good shots. Double up from Rain. Azza next to get the resulting deaths, I suppose you could say. As Kia will take out Ustilla, but watch for Alu trying to get back in position. He gets Molotov'd off, but there was a massive gap in the smoke. He realizes it, but it's flashed in turn, so they're able to cross to the bomb, losing Nifty in the process. It's JKS to plant and go 1 versus 3, and he's found immediately by Carrigan.
Good news is he gets a plant down. So in terms of that reset I was discussing before, it's not going to be as devastating. Still going to be a rough part going to the next round. That was Renegades completely changing the pace. They've been presenting a lot of defaults so far and just trying to get the map control towards connectors, splitting bomb sites. But this time, they just go for the contact play. 3 towards A-ramp, 2 at the Palace as well, just trying to walk out and surprise the CT's waiting. They get a couple of kills, but Rain, he's been so good recently. His headshot percentage has been through the roof. He manages to have a couple of dings from CT spawn, and actually, I think he got 2 kills and took 1 player down to 13 HP, so he pretty much wins that single-handedly. And as I said, still a limited buy. Without the bomb, it would have been devastating. 3 AKs, 2 Tech 9s, 11-3, very likely to be 12, but some decent damage towards Alu, who was connected this time and not the window. He'll be repositioning towards underpass, I think. He's hungry for frags.
Carrigan will get a slightly better angle. I think he could see. Yeah, he can all the way to the top of the stairwell. At the underpass position, but they flash him off and try and go aggressive. They actually bypass the first shot. He'll realize they're close. Get a headshot on Nexa. Follows it with Azza going down over to the op again. It's Keo that gets the kill instead of Nifty, but it looked nifty nonetheless from Carrigan's perspective as the op is set and ready. And they are slowed. I dare say this goes 12-3, Hank. Hank the Tank.
I think you might
Having a wank.
What? let's keep it for family show, Matthew. I know we're in Australia, but we have got an international audience.
It's true. They all need to be kept at bay.
It's still now and left in an impossible situation. It's going to be 12-3. Renegades with a couple of promising rounds, but against the juggernaut that is FaZe, I don't think that's going to be enough. Hopefully they can bounce back and maybe find a pistol in the second half. That's yet to be seen. We'll take a quick break and see if they can bounce back to not go anywhere.
IEM Sydney. Yes, we're here. I'm from a Sydney. Not really. My grandfather was from a Sydney. Sydney, Nova Scotia, Henry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good
Known
to know.
for alcoholism and fishermen. But this one's known for a lot more, including good Counter-Strike this week. As we get into day one, our last of our opening matches. Winner of this will go on to the 1-0 group. Loser drops down. Swiss system. That's how it works.
Now, for now, it's looking likely the Renegades might be in the latter, going down to the 0-1 group, because they are not doing too well here against FaZe. To be expected, it's their first international debut with this lineup. They've been doing pretty decent in the online sector of the NA Pro League, but this is looking quite comfortable for FaZe. Quite jovial scenes there from Alu, a rare smile from him as we get into the second half. Momentarily, FaZe Clan ending up 12-3. Looking quite comfortable. A couple of impressive rounds there, but not enough really from the Aussie/Serbian side. Obviously, Kasad with the Serbian influence, bringing in those kind of fresh talents to revitalise this lineup. And it's difficult to gauge how they're doing against a team like FaZe. They're not going to be challenging the likes of these guys just yet, but these tournaments will obviously be beneficial for them going forward to get some experience and work out how the lineups, really doing.
I think that's completely true. They need lands under their belt. That's one of the things that's very hard when you come from these regions. That's why Renegades left in the first place. But to get lands and get that experience and develop as a team in that regard. So this is a very important event for them in many ways. I'm sure they'd love to make it through and play in front of the home crowd.
Optimistic.
What is the 6,900 a reference to?
I was thinking about that earlier.
Is that a score or something that he was achieved at one point in time?
6,900. Oh, we've got to take the hat off. Is that a rule here?
Maybe it is. The referee has seemingly
I was
said
thinking
so.
that.
That's it. Draw back all the other rounds. To be fair, it's a noise thing, and we're in a studio environment, so it's not as big of a deal. When we go to the stadium, that could be enforced, but in this environment, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, agreed. Well, here's the Scotland Dorsey right now. Rain, no surprise there, leading the charge, 15 kills and 9 deaths. Next, 2 for 13. Nifty, 3 for 13. These Serbian sensations not really living up to expectations as of yet. It's 5 frags between them. They need to step the game up. They're going to have a chance to make a real dent in this tournament overall. But like we said, their first tournament, probably the biggest they've ever played in. It's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking for them. And there it is. Rain, obviously a veteran of high-end Counter-Strike after winning his first big tournament over in Starladder.
That's true. And imagine that for Alu. First big win after being on NIP for a year.
5 finals.
Yep, 5 finals. He finally wins one.
Yeah, he was elated, to say the least.
Do you remember the picture?
Yes.
They're all
Yes,
he's
right.
just elated, you say. He was literally
Yeah.
standing there like, cool. So finished. So Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, that's true.
Have another ice cream, Alu.
Well, 12-3. Renegades, we've said this a few times today. Pistol in the second half, a must-win for these guys. If they don't do that, that's going to be the GG in my book, at least. Maybe they can bounce back with some amazing D will play, who knows. But for now, they just seem outclassed. And Mirage, that was always a difficult pick. It's one of the staple maps of FaZe. Now they keep winning big games on this map, especially in the last few tournaments, and Katowice comes to mind, obviously Starladder as well. When Nico's debut came in, they're completely wrecking people on this map, especially Nico. He's kind of dropped off, as the analysts were saying, in terms of his overall numbers, but the team's been getting better and better, so that's promising. You don't have to rely on someone like Nico to get you victories. You don't have to have the world's best player going absolute god mode to find you victories, and that's a cool sign for them going forward. We're into it. Second half begins. Renegades, 4 sets of armor, and Nifty, he's getting swifty with the smoke grenade and a defuse kit.
I was hoping you were going to just keep going with that one.
What was I going to do?
Nifty getting swifty.
Swifty. You even haven't seen Rick and Morty, so you don't know the reference.
Right, I'm sorry. Well, either way, blinded is next. That doesn't see the first player drop. It does go for a battle with Rain, and it's reload time, which means you're dead. Unfortunately, overwhelmed in that situation. Rain gets the kill. A 12-3 first half. They win this. We're looking close to the end in a very quick fashion, as they'll boost up JKS to try and see.
Will they?
Try and boost up JKS to see over the smoke. He's not necessarily succeeded. He's up there now as Azza fades off the situation and position, given he's on 14 HP. Alu's been patient. See if it pays off. Oh, not even close. Nifty just walks in and obliterates him. He's going to find yet another toward Kiyoshima. He was slow to get rolling in the first half. He's got to find an ace in this pistol. He's got a third, but that's all he will find.
Yeah, pads the stats, but apart from that, it's quite a simple round for FaZe. Simple procedure, 1 smoke, bust away into the B site, find the headshots. Nifty gets a few in return, but the round was already lost. He had a 3 versus 1, like he said, needed the ace. Has to be the force by Renegades here at desperate times, and Nifty's putting out the scout. Some CZs, Deagles, pretty much everyone has to invest in this round. In this sort of situation, you just need to throw everything in, hope for the best, and Nifty goes towards window. And there's actually 4 players from FaZe heading towards the A side of the map. Rain towards A ramp, Kiyoshima in pass from Nico, and Yustino and JKS looking to challenge, and Yustino gets a deagle shot and another as well. The bomb goes down. Maybe there's a chance for this.
Experienced player for Renegades. One of the stablemates that's been on this roster for a while. He's got an AK picked up. He's done well with it. He gets Nico back. It's Kiyoshima. Gets a kill in response, but he's the last alive, and he's going to be sweating right now because he's on 25. Swings out, gets Nexa. It's back to he versus Azza. He's pulled it back with 2 kills, but he's got more work to do. Bomb down toward A main, flash out. He's going to still take the challenge. Confirms that Azza's there, but he's not yet willing to go get the bomb, and he's letting Azza get closer, which means when he does, he'll be able to pounce. It won't be a free access to that bomb, and Keo has to consider it. It's a minute to work with, but he's got to get there sooner rather than later. And Azza's going to try and look over the top and strike, get the information. He hears him coming back, so he doesn't even need to do that. As the flash goes out, peek in time, 8 HP. Keo's going to stick it, or is he? Fakes it off. As he goes for the reload, drops down. Keo may have missed his opportunity to plant because as he sticks it this time, closer. Will Azza get? That's exactly it. You're right. With that HP, an easy pickup round for Renegades.
Well, that was a bit tense, wasn't it? Kiyoshima fighting tooth and nail there to try and get that bomb down. He gets it, but Azza outpositions him there. Takes the opportunity. He had to pick up the bomb to find himself close to the bomb site, and that was a simple procedure. But Yustino, he has to be the hero of that round. Look at these 2 shots coming in there. The first one was great. Second one getting the bomb down as well. I think they got a third just after that with the CZ, and Kiyoshima did what he could, but it wasn't quite enough. 13-4, a lifeline for Renegades now, but of course there will be a force buy and response by the FaZe clan. AK-47s, Tech 9s, Deagles, UMPs, and it's still going to be a rough round for Renegades. These guys are incredibly skilled. So much firepower within one team FaZe clan. It's going to be very difficult to hold them off, even with just 1 AK.
Still out.
There it is.
Just to go back out, and Nico gets the shot. You're right. Rain's there as well with the UMP. It's 2 kills to the price of 1. Half price discount day.
Yeah.
JKS, though's done very well to walk back through the A site and take down Alu, as well as Rain. Or excuse me, not Rain, because Rain's still alive. That doesn't make sense. Nico. So it's their advantage to work with on the UMPs. But Rain's got the AK picked up, now has the head armor to work with, as well as Kiyoshima continues to try and look at underpass. Spots a Molotov going in toward the mid connector, and that confirms there's one on Catwalk. But they still have to try and solve how to get the bomb. Rain does well to find JKS. That'll open up some room on the AK-47. And likely they're going to look toward Nexa at CT, but he's going to play passive and smart, force them all the way into the site before peeking. Problem is he's got to be very patient because his teammate's not in any position close to relevant, at least not yet. If he can buy a few more seconds on the flank, Azza could be lethal in this. AZR, as you would call him. Azur.
Was that what I called him?
I think that was Lex. But he is going to be actually just about perfectly timed. Oh, no, that's a problem, though. That first shot, this is big because they instantly look to go toward B. He's given the shot away. They turn around, though. It looks like hesitation would cost them, and they managed to hit both shots. If he was a little more patient, might have been able to walk away with that round.
Well, there we go. 14-4. FaZe clan do fight back, and Renegades, after stealing away the second with the force buy, they get the same treatment in response, and it's going to be round number 19. It's going to be an M4, a UMP, a few pistols, and we'll see what happens here as we go into round number 19. They're going to have to go aggressive potentially here. Can't just sit back and allow full execution to come in. JKS looks like he wants to go in towards a palace position, but we'll see what happens. As we do not have an AWP available for FaZe, but 4 AKs and a UMP.
JKS backs off. Ustilo will go into shadow. They have to be stealth in this round with the weapons they've worked with, or have to work with. You know what I would have bought in this round?
What would you have bought?
A spade.
Why?
So I could dig my grave.
You do a good job of that pretty much every cast, but
I'm working on it. I'm about 60 feet under at this point. Kerrigan takes down Azza with a very fast play, though, on the UMP, and that's why he's still got that weapon. JKS left with his UMP is the only rifle, or SMG rifle, I call it a mini rifle, that's still in this. Good shot from Nifty. Nexa shows off similar flare with the Deagle, but it's Alu immediately able to take Nexa back, and they'll plant the bomb inside of the B site. It might only be a 3 versus 3. EMP picked up for Nifty, but the chances of Renegades doing much with this are slim. There's no kits. We'll see what they try and accomplish coming out from Checker. And this should be map point for FaZe to go into the 1-0 category and make it an upsetless day. If that makes any sense, I'm not sure it does. But no one has been overturned in the favors on paper, although Renegades are trying now to make this round a little more close. JKS taps to face Rain, but Rain gets the kill in the end. It's 15-4.
It is. Rain wins the 1v1, and that should be it. 15-4, not really much left to do. There's a nice shot there from Nifty, but that's pretty much all that happened.
It's an obvious pun, isn't it?
Which one? Go on. I missed
Nifty
it.
shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not really. It's real, Hank, don't lie to me.
Well, it's going to be pistols and a UMP, and 15-4 should be converted to 16 momentarily. But Alu goes down. JKS with that UMP manages to get something going for himself, and Nico responds quite quickly as we get into it. It's going to be him operating very fast with the site. It's not a traditional Counter-Strike round, I have to say, and JKS punishing him for it. It's going to be another chance to find a kill here. He goes under 19 HP, but that should be it now. Just
that
next
is.
yeah.
Nifty walking through the smoke and getting met by a bullet. Rain the one to do so. And it is young Nexa, who should be the Nexa to die. That's a better pun.
That's really good.
Thank you. Appreciate your lies, Henry. You deceitful human being. Nexa looking for a kill. He will find Keo. Nade out. Easy to take down, but 2 other players to face him. He goes to the AK. Nearly gets a kill. Won't get it in the end. It will be 16-4 for FaZe Clan as they make their way into the winner bracket.
Not the most exciting game of the day, but like we said, it's Renegades' first event going up against the absolute titans of the scene right now, FaZe. He didn't really have to break a sweat there. A couple of interesting rounds, but overall FaZe do run away with it, and they go 1-0, and of course Renegades go down to 0-1.
Don't mind that long sleeve iteration of the jersey.
It's new.
Nico's wearing.
I saw them posting about it the other day, yeah.
That is pretty cool. I didn't realize there was a post, but it is neat. And Renegades obviously now will have a redraw, just like everybody, to find out who they play next. They could go up against their countrymen. They could go up against the Asians. They could go up against Optic. Those are your 4 that are down below right now. The others are all above, including Astralis North, FaZe, and SK. The 4 favorites are sitting at the top of the table. We'll take a break, get the draw done, and join in for the next 4 matches of today.
And welcome back, everybody, to Intel Extreme Masters Sydney. Now, both Australian teams have had their first matches and both have been found to be wanting. However, have been going up against some pretty tough opposition, Astralis and FaZe, making both Australian teams sweat a hell of a lot. I'm here, of course, on the desk with YNK, and we're sniping out. This was pretty interesting, I think. Again, another map that we really want to try and take the temperature of these maybe less known quantities in terms of, our Australian teams, for example. Yanko, first of all, Nexa, didn't really see him show up at all in that match.
Yeah, unfortunately, very poor individual performance from him. I think he's really struggling with in-game leading at the moment, because it's different when you play online games. Obviously, Kassad being there with them, he can talk all the time. Now in a LAN environment, that's not the case. So it looks to me like Nexa is focusing a lot on what to call, how to lead the team, and not nearly enough on his individual play, and as a result, both are lacking at the time.
And this is the first game we've seen Renegades play with Nexa. I mean, we were talking about it earlier on, Ian. They have played even this particular map, Mirage, with Nexa on board in the NA Pro League, and didn't go too well for them.
Yeah, they got absolutely smashed by Misfits. Even Shazam was just going hectic on the A site with the AWP, just killing them as they come up. They're very disjointed in their takes to the A site. One coming up here, one coming up there. Like no communication, no syncing up.
Was it similar to this game, though?
Pretty much exactly.
Can we draw parallels?
Yeah. So it's just, the A ramp guys are trying to come up while the Palace guys are trying to come up, and then A ramp gets delayed by rain with just a Molotov and a smoke. But the Palace guys come out anyway because the A-ramp guys have already thrown their smoke, so they feel this sense of urgency, and they're just disjointed like that, and they just get picked apart. And they won the round, but it should have been assigned to them that that's what they needed to do. They needed to keep doing more smoke executes, eliminate Alu early on with some smokes, and then get up into the site and just take those duels with rain.
We see uncertainty here as well from Renegades on that T side especially. We brought it up in the last match from Chiefs. It seems like sometimes they were quite sort of concerned or frazzled. Did you see that here?
I mean, to an extent, we saw that one gun round where they would just throw the top mid smoke and play passive default, expecting some aggression from FaZe, but that didn't really come. And then them trying to do delayed mid control and a delayed A split didn't really work out. As Ian pointed out, they seemed very disjointed. Also some very fundamental mistakes, like 5v3 situation for Renegades, and they decide to go for an A split 3-way through connector, which is like, okay, it can be done, but why not just like group up and try to use your numbers to get the favorable trades, right? Use maybe a smoke or a flash if you really want to, but go in as a unit, because when you go from 3 ways, you're not going to have more than 3 players in that situation, and that will allow, even if there's only 2 players holding the site, they can still have a decent hold, right?
And this isn't the only team. And Renegades and Chiefs, both what they have in common is that some of their force buy rounds actually were where they found some of their most success. Why is that?
I think it's just because you've got to have bravado and confidence on those force buys. You can't just sit back and let the opposition dictate the pace. So they're just going in and they're trying to get some kills, just focusing on their crosshair, nothing too elaborate, just trying to get the job done. And more often than not, it's working out for them, but they just can't convert it on their rifle rounds.
Let's talk about FaZe a little bit then as well after that match. There's probably not a whole lot to say here, but is there anything to notice? Any trends we can identify here? Are they all looking on track and on target?
Not really. It was pretty standard, just good, strong holds from them on the CT side. You can see the difference with when FaZe plays Renegades right now and when they play a really good Mirage team, like one of the best teams. You can see how Alu just gets a lot of, he re-peaks, gets a clean shot on every player. He isn't really that pressured. He makes it look so easy when it shouldn't be really. And that's because Renegades to an extent make it easy, but not making optimal use of their utility, by their timings not being good, right? The spacing that we were talking about. Once he peaks and gets 1 kill, the other player should be in a position to trade that. If he re-peaks, he should be immediately dead. But they were not maybe aggressive enough. The timings were off, as Ian pointed out. So, yeah, just a very, very poor display, unfortunately, from Renegades here in their opening game.
And that was their opening game, of course, and that's the opening round of the Swiss pretty much done. So we can show you now how the standings are here. And FaZe, Astralis, SK North both come out with those 1 wins here as well. You probably expected that. We kind of talked about it on paper. It makes sense. But going forward, do we think there's any potential for these teams in the bottom 4, gentlemen, to actually make their way back in? Is there a possibility that we see teams like North maybe leapfrogged and upset? Teams like Renegades or maybe Optic to make their way in there. Have we seen any reason to expect that could be possible?
I mean, we have seen from Optic, right? That first game went into triple overtime, did it against North, so they seemed pretty good, but the rest of the teams haven't really been even close to, making an upset. So maybe that's also them not having confidence against such a huge favorite, and now when they're going to play someone who also has a 0-1 score, maybe getting a win there will give them a boost of confidence if they're going to meet, because they're obviously going to meet those favorites again at some point.
What do you reckon, Ian? Would you echo that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely how I'd be looking at it, especially with Optic, the way they played against North so well. I mean, I'd be scared if I was an Australian team or even Vici Gaming coming up against them, and then maybe I'd be looking at a bit of weakness from North perhaps, and I'd be looking to verse North as soon as possible. Until they get warmed up, then they're probably going to be that force that we know them to be.
So as it stands, we have 4 teams that are 1-0, 4 teams that are 0-1, and that's your schedule up there as well. Just to recap the games, first of all, was North over Optic. It was 1-0. Then Vici Gaming went down 1-0. Chiefs obviously failed to win their map, and as did Renegades. So where do we head from here? Well, we need to redraw the groups, and it's going to be Vici Gaming going up against Optic straight off the bat there as well. It's going to be an interesting one. Following that, SK versus North. Got some really interesting matchups amongst the 1-1s. And then, of course, we head down Chiefs and Renegades. So it will be that Australian derby head-to-head to see who can try and keep themselves afloat here. And then following that one, FaZe Astralis. Got a favourite match in any of those 4, gentlemen?
I think that's an easy question to answer,
Sure.
Mitch. FaZe Astralis. I mean, we get a rematch of those 2 grand finals that we've had, and also, I guess, for Ian, it's Renegades Chiefs.
I'm still going FaZe Astralis. The Renegades Chiefs will be less interesting now that they've got Nifty and Nexa, but that'll be a great game to watch and a lot of pride on the line for both teams.
All right, so we're going to head to a break now, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, we're going to be into our second round of Swiss. Remember, it's 3 wins and you're in, 3 losses and you're out. That's what these teams are fighting for. And let's see who comes out strong after day 1. We'll be back with the second half real shortly.
Do you want to feel like a pro gamer? Wait no more.